Hi everyone, I'm Nari from System People in Carlisle and I help coordinate the apprentices. So in this video, I'll be talking about how you as a parent or guardian or as a carer can support the child in applying for the apprenticeship. Application process is very similar to a conventional job. So your child will need an application form, a CV. When it comes to writing a CV, obviously let your child write the CV. However, you know your child better than anyone else. Help them write down their strengths. So this could be any work experience, volunteering, or just simply putting their grades down from school. You can help them by spell checking it, proofreading it for them, making sure that it's professional. Other ways that you can support your child is the timeline, just making sure that and check that they are meeting the different application form deadlines.
Hi, my name is Jo and I'm a tutor at System People and have over 10 years experience working to support apprentices within the early years sector. Last year, I found myself supporting my son who wanted to gain an apprenticeship as an electrician, and there was a really lot to consider. So I'm sharing my experience to advise other parents on how they can support their children in securing an apprenticeship. Application deadlines approach really quick, so I helped my son create a timeline of these, ensuring that he didn't miss any of the deadlines. The preparation started around this time of year, and the first task was to support him in completing a CV with as much detail as possible. It's definitely important to let them do this themselves, as it is a great experience, but you should assist with filling in any gaps and proof checking. We included the skills he had gained in his Saturday job, his DV experience, alongside his hobbies and interests. As I have worked with apprentices for a number of years, I supported my son in looking for local training providers, with my son registering his interest. I would advise this so you're able to help them choose the best option. The skills fair that is held in Carlisle supported us in this, but you can also contact myself or the other tutors at System People who can give specialist career advice. Once he had registered, he was asked to sit aptitude tests, which tested his basic maths and English. In order to pass the test, you have to reach a certain level, so it was important that my son knew that this could determine whether he would be considered for an apprenticeship. He had predicted grades, however, as you know, results aren't given until August. If the application requires it, it's definitely worth finding some aptitude tests and giving these a go. Working within apprenticeships, I know that often school leavers can gain employment before results are given, so we have to ensure that any future apprentice is able to meet the demands of the course, as often there is coursework to complete following classroom-based teaching. So really do make sure that even after they've been offered a job role, that they keep up the momentum to achieve the required grades. Once my son had passed the aptitude test, he was ready for the next stage, interviews. We all know it's important to make a good impression, and the same goes for young adults leaving school. Training providers and employers hold interviews with potential apprentices to find out about the person and their suitability in the sector they wish to work. To make a good impression, we had to ensure that my son was dressed appropriately: shirt, tie, trousers and shoes, which as parents we often find our kids don't have, so this is something to consider. It's also important to think about how to get your child to the interviews on time, so knowing exactly where you were going beforehand is really good. As a parent, I realise that applying for an apprenticeship isn't an easy option, and your child has to be aware of this. The academic standard of children who apply for apprenticeships has risen, and so has the number of children who apply. Sixth form isn't for everyone, and my son knew this as he reached year 10 in school. From a parent's perspective, it's important to support your child. However, encourage them to be as independent as possible with creating writing materials. So they can gain their own experience and represent themselves. Specific and tailored support will set your child up for success as they enter the real world of work, and that is what an apprenticeship is: real work.